Hello and welcome to this episode of Simply Saturday. My name is Julie and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. As you know, I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. What you might not know is that every Saturday I bring you a fast and easy card to make. So for today's tutorial, as you can see, we are using some Valentine products. These brand new products are going to be available beginning January 6th. So if there's some things that you really like today, make sure that you make a note, and beginning on January 6th, you can add them to your cart. Now, today is actually Saturday, December 27th, so Christmas has come and gone. And of course, you, maybe like me, have set aside all your Christmas colors and papers and so forth, and you're ready to start using something new. And that is what we're going to do today. So the paper that I'm using is called Made with Love. It's a 12 by 12 pack of paper. There are some adorable designs in here. As you'll see, we're using paper on the card, and the stamp set is called Endless Love, and it is available as a bundle with dies. So I'll be showing you the fast version of the card. That's what we're going to make. And then at the end, I'm going to show you another version that adds some extra steps that if you like and if you have extra time, then you can incorporate that into the card design as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is do a dry fit of my pieces of paper. Now what I have are 4 strips of the designer series paper that are 1¼ inches wide by 4 inches long. I have a strawberry slush card base, 4¼ inches by 11 inches, scored and folded there at the halfway point, 5½ inches. I do have a white piece of cardstock that's going to go on the inside, and here I'm going to let you in on a little secret. These white panels I had already stamped to go inside of some Christmas cards that I was making, but these ended up being extra. So instead of throwing them away, which I don't want to do, and instead of cutting them and just using the white for scrap, I know that I can just simply turn this over. We're going to decorate this side, and once it's glued into the card, you will never know that there was stamping on the other side. So when you have some extra things left over, or perhaps you've made a mistake, always think ahead, because you may be able to hang on to that and use it in the future. We're going to use this today. All right, so to begin with, we're going to do a dry fit of our 4 pieces of designer series paper. I'm going to start with this one at the top, followed by the hearts, these little baby hearts, and then we're going to use, oh, look how cute that is. That's a cute print too. We're going to use the red side with those little dashes, and then we're going to use these hearts at the bottom. So there is the order that our papers are going to go in. Now, what I'm going to do is use some low tack artist tape. I'm going to use 4 pieces of this. I'm just going to curl it into a little loop, and I'm going to attach it to the back of this. By doing this step, which just takes a little bit of extra time, I am able to go ahead and feel confident that my strips of paper are going to be in the exact position that I want them to be, also in relation to the other strips. So we're just doing this to make sure that these 4 pieces of designer series paper look nice and straight and equally distanced once we get to the gluing portion. Now, if you want to skip this step and just start gluing, you are welcome to do that. You are probably better at that than I would be. I feel like this is a little bit of a way to make this foolproof just by using this tape method first. All right, so I'm able to see the space between my papers and see if that's pretty equal. And then when I get down here to the bottom, and I've got a border at the very bottom, and I've got a border at the top showing. So that's exactly what I want. All right, this last one needs to get put into place. And then we'll take them off one by one and do our gluing. So what I'm going to do, let's get this one on. is I'm going to start with this one. That way it gives me a visual of layering it right in between these two, because once I pull this off, now I am back to wanting to be careful that it's centered in that space. All right, a little bit of my liquid glue. Lay this right back in there where it was. And that one's in place. Once the first one's down, it's pretty safe sailing from here on out, because now we've got it established. And as far as the spacing goes, here's this one. I can look at everything else that's already sitting there, some temporary. Make adjustments if you need to, and then we can get our last two glued down. I want to mention this paper does have a direction because of the hearts. Do you see that? So even though it looks like it could go any direction with the X's and O's, really there is a correct direction for this paper, only because of the hearts. All right, there's our third strip, and as you can see, the spacing looks nice, and to me, it's worth that extra little prep step. All right, now that these are down, I'm going to take some red cardstock, and I decided to use Poppy Parade. So there's real red in the packet of paper and also Poppy Parade. So this is just a scrap of Poppy Parade. You can see what it looks like against real red. It's just a little bit more, maybe more orange, but it's still definitely a red. I'm going to use the heartfelt hexagon and just punch my shape out like so. I'm going to show you these in just a moment, because that is an extra step that we're not doing on our fast and easy version. And then I'm also going to need a white heartfelt hexagon. So I've punched that out of a white scrap. All right. My recording has had some trouble today, so I'm going to maybe repeat something that I already said. I'm going to do some edits and we'll see what happens. But this is what I wanted to show you, is the Hearts of Love embossing folder. We're not using it on today's version because we're keeping it fast and easy. But as you can see, here's a piece of Flirty Flamingo. This is a piece of real red. The texture is really, really beautiful, and the design of this embossing folder. So on a stepped up version, we would use a piece of that, run through the Hearts of Love embossing folder, and then punched out. So we're skipping that step and just using our plain cardstock instead. All right, then here on the white one, we're gonna do our stamping. So I have Strawberry Slush ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the words right here across the center, like so. Then I'm going to take these little hearts, and I'm going to use Bubble Bath ink. And the first thing I'm going to do is stamp it once down low, so it goes all the way to the bottom of the tag, like that. Then I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper, because I'm going to stamp it up here at the top as well, and it will go off the cardstock like that. So it kind of looks like the hearts are raining down on my little hexagon. All right, so let's take this piece. We're just going to use our liquid glue and attach it maybe right about there. Kind of giving a base to this piece, which is going to go on next. All right, we're going to flip this one over and put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this piece. Three across the middle might have worked, but I already started in this direction, so we'll use 4 like that. And then we're going to strategically place this so it's just down and to the right a little bit of that first shape, like so. All right, let's dress this up. I have a red and white twine, so I'm just going to make a bow out of this. I used this quite a bit at Christmas, and of course, it's going to look great on this Valentine card as well. Okay, I will use a glue dot to get this into place. So I can pull it off of the backing sheet. I'm using my take your pick tool to do that. Then I'm just going to wad it up into a tiny little ball and then place it right here on our red shape and push the knot of my bow right down into that glue. It's kind of like using hot glue, but you don't burn your fingers. All right, let's put a couple of rhinestones on this to dress it up. And I think I can use my putty end to pick these up like so. And we'll put, I don't know, I wasn't sure if I wanted them all on the white. Let's see how it goes. We'll start with one there. I think we'll do 1, 2, and then I'll put the third one down here on this red piece like that. Kind of in a loose triangle shape. Okay, let's go to our white piece that we talked about. We're gonna flip it over. Let's first of all put some hearts on the inside. I'm gonna use strawberry slush and put some hearts. The card that I'm going to show you after this one, when we're done putting this one together, I did the inside different. So you'll be able to see 2 different versions of the inside as well. Okay, a little bit of our liquid glue, and we're covering up that because we didn't need it. And this can go into place like so. And this is ready to go, fast and easy. Now, let me show you just kind of a stepped up version. So on this one, I went ahead and did the little embossing folder that we talked about, and out of real red cardstock, I punched out the shape and added it to the card first. So you can see that that has a little extra detail on this piece. And then I also used this heart. This is a die that is part of the Endless Love stamps, and you can get it as a bundle with the dies. And so I went ahead and cut one of those hearts out and attached it to the front as well. We talked about the inside of this card as well. I wanted you to see how I finished that one with the love stamp, some hearts in bubble bath, and a little bit of splatter that I did with a marker. So you've got 2 different versions of the inside as well. So adding the die cut and adding the embossing folder were extra steps that I didn't want to use on our fast and easy version because this is adorable. And here is, if you have just a little bit more time and want to dress it up a teeny bit more. This one I see doesn't have rhinestones on it, and I think it could use it. So let's do that while we're at it. And I'm imagining this one, yep, right there in the loop of the heart. I think that turned out cute too. So there you have our simple version and our stepped up version. Also, I'll mention that this one is on a flirty flamingo base, and this one is on the strawberry slush. So the papers look equally good on both colors. It just depends on your mood. So that is our card tutorial for today. Thank you so much for watching. I do love that you tune in and watch these, and another thing that I love is to hear from you. So if you have comments or questions, please put them below this video, send them to me. I read and respond to every one of them. I love hearing from you. And until next time, happy stamping.